What was that extra hit for? You hear it's like, psh. Oh, it's one of these guys, huh? It just sounds like so cartoony. Alright, so we're gonna have to fight all these guys. We're just gonna have to do it. Oof! He's got the twofer attack. So, see if we can get the stun on. Oh, look at all the other dudes over there, over in the corner, huh? Up the road? That's a lot. Yep. Don't let him get you like that. Don't let him embarrass you, Lamoura. Alright, he's stunned a bit, so that means we do more damage like this. And we could probably finish him off with a Quake. There we go. There's someone behind me? He didn't get finished off? Alright, I think he lagged a little bit there. I think he just lagged. I guess I could do the damage boost here. Again, things I just don't use. But maybe it's something I should think about. Excuse me? Where are you going? Get back here. I never said I was done with you. There we go. That guy tried to get away. I never said he could do that. Never said he could do that. I'm gonna go turn this into this guy before we fight all the creatures.
Come in. Quite a display, my friend. It makes me proud to share a name. You made quick work of the Maid's army. The lady herself, however, will prove more formidable.
Right. I need to get in that castle. I need to see how formidable she actually is.
Take this. It's the key to the village bell house. That bell rings with the same tone as the flute, only louder. So loud it can be heard across these high mountains. The toll will break the enchantment on the Maid's castle. Then you will have your chance. Make the most of it, my friend. It may be your last. And now I am free. I do hope we meet again. I would like you to have this. It's a talisman. I have no need of it where I am going.
Hey guys, Future Lamoura here. Apparently my recording stopped getting my voice capture for whatever reason. I can't really explain it to you, so from this point on, this is post-commentary. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. Sometimes technology is just a little weird, and we have to work around it. In any case, I'm just kind of looking at what this Ballad Shield is all about. It's actually kind of good, and I was like kind of surprised. Coming up here when we exit out, I'm actually a little upset because like we spend all this time fighting all these creatures, and I'm like, the fact that I have to fight them again, like they just respawned and I can't even get into this house. You can't interact with things, you can't use the fast travel or anything like that. So I was just like, man, I just spent all this time fighting these creatures and now I have to do it again. But they go down in quick order, you know, expecting this, knowing how to actually fight throughout the game and doing it for so long, it's just like, alright, it's more tedious than it is difficult, just because like things like the rock troll, they're just damage sponges, and in my opinion that's not really fun per se. They don't really have any different mechanics that you need to worry about. It's just like keep on swinging until they die, and that's all there really is to it. But we are still trying to use our Quake here. Well, I'm just still trying to use the Quake here because I never seem to learn. But I know at least I'm a little bit better at blocking this troll's attacks and not taking as much damage. Though I still always get hit by the second hit. I don't know why. I never seem to learn that. But it's just a common problem for me. I get impatient. I get really impatient. But I think I'm still trying to kill this guy with the Quake, so I'm like, okay, let's use the chakrams, but not use them too much. And then these dudes start coming in, I'm like, alright, this will kill the troll. It's just more and more dudes keep on coming through, and at this point I was a little like, alright, just get out of my way. What can you do, right? Alright, so now that everyone in this area has been destroyed, of course, your boy's gotta loot everything, because that's just how he do. And then, eventually, I'll go into the bell tower here. And be a little surprised at like the roots and the thorns that are coming through here. But like, what the frick just happened? It looks like a war zone in here. But then I get distracted by chests and lockpicking mechanics, of course, as always. Nice and easy one. But nothing really good in there, you know? I put the farmer's clothes in my junk and just take everything else. Reagents and stuff, maybe I'll use them. Maybe I won't. Most likely I won't, but they're there. Of course, I think I put everything here in my, yep, put everything in my junk drawer just because I feel like, oh, even if it's 2 gold, it's still 2 gold. And yes, I did see the rope that we need to pull, but again, doing some exploration and some loot grabbing, and I finally go back. And with the rope pulled, the bell tower rung, we can actually enter Castle Windmere. And I think at this point I was just thankful that everyone didn't respawn. I'm like, man, if I have to fight these guys for a 3rd time, this game is dead to me. And I guess there's really nothing too grand or interesting here in this area. I'm not sure. Oh, I think I thought I needed to be wearing the House of Ballad clothing, so I switched that on. I don't know if I was just mishearing the quest, or if it really did matter if I wore this or not, but I tried to put it on. I don't know if it's worth it. I did think this shield looked really cool, though.
Welcome to my home, beloved. I hope it suits your fancy, for you will never leave it. Wenson is here, along with his court of enchantments. The great halls and corridors echo with their voices, of the ancient stories told and forgotten. It is time to begin anew, for we write the final chapter of the House of Ballads. Only when the memory of ancient glories has faded can new glory be forged. Everything you see, the castle and all that resides in it, could be yours. That includes my love. Consider it.
Alright, and of course the unfortunate part is we don't really get to hear too much of my reactionary commentary to things that just got said. I know that I need to go kill her, and I'm just letting this lore stone kind of play out, because I'm probably talking about some nonsense, because, you know me, I ramble a lot, and I'm not really listening to the lore stone because the Fae all speak in this weird tone that I just can't ever seem to stay awake for. But we come up to this guy over here. I'm like, oh, why is he strutting towards me like that? I'm like, is he gonna start running, or does he just want to talk? I'm like, what's going on here? I just thought it was kind of goofy. And then I think he finally just, yeah, he catches up to us.
It's time to cross swords with one worthy of your talents. You have caused the Maid much grief, and that saddens me. Luckily, your death will provide her much pleasure.
And it's at this point we realize we have to kill Sir Ferrara. He's been enchanted. Man, I didn't know it was him at first. Like, all these guys all look the same to me. I know that sounds really weird, but the Fae, they all have like the same hairstyle. It's all like a pointy up sort of thing. I just don't see too much variety in their character models. But then I start to realize, like, oh crap, he summoned some dudes like behind us. I was so mad. I was just like, fuck it, I'm going reckoning mode. Not dealing with this bullshit. And it mostly came for the fact that, like, I saw there was like 5 different people that we had to take care of. And I'm like, I think it says convince or something like that, but I was just like, oh man, if we have to go through this dungeon and do this like 5 times, all of them summoning things, might as well just end it. End it as quickly as possible. And then this one was so brutal. I was just like, holy shit, like, look at that. It's so intense. It's probably my favorite reckoning that we've had so far. Some of them are brutal, don't get me wrong, but man, that one was something special. I love the animation on it. I just love the posing. Everything was good. Alright, and of course we continue through. I'll have to come back later. I actually kind of take a look at this. In the opposite corner behind me, there's a lore stone. And as we're going through, I don't know where I was looking, but the lore stone, I just completely pass over it. I thought it was just part of like the environment or something. So I'll have to come back at one point. I do like a little turnaround when I check my stats and all the lore stones. But you saw there's like these plant things over here. They like get you when you get close. they're traps. They appear on the mini-map as such. I was like, man, what's the trap here? And when I got close that first time and it came out and bit me, it scared the poop out of me, dude. I got so scared, like I yelped and everything. I really wish I could have kept it in because I thought it was pretty funny, but even though I know that's like the trap here in this dungeon, every single time I pass by one, it still gets me. Like it still manages to surprise me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that something's just jumping out and it naturally just scares me, but I did a little yell every single time it happens. Here I was just using the Quake, of course, because, again, achievement. I figured that all of them grouped up together like that was a perfect opportunity to do it, but if I was smart, I probably would have used like a hit or two of my chakrams to weaken them first, instead of me having to do the Quake the multiple times I did. And you can start to see how I'm starting to understand the best way, the best practices to using the Quake. Hit him twice, kill him with the rest of the Quakes. Sometimes 3 times as well. But if I was smart, I would have waited for these guys, and then I would have used it so that I could have gotten the whole group instead of just like 1 or 2 at a time. But you live and you learn, and you just go on from there. And I don't think I know where I'm going, per se. Like, I know there's dudes that I need to find. I see the map, but I'm kind of just wandering around to see if there's things I can get. And of course, knowing me, I like to go the opposite way of where the quest markers are, generally. So, when I see things, I'm like, ooh, okay, let's explore over here. Let's go over there. And I'm fully expecting, at this point, another fight to happen. But I'm waiting for the lower stone to finish.
All in calumnious wonder. When night falls on the countryside, the noise
why I'm waiting, I don't really know. I've never really listened to too many of them, so I don't really know what the context for a lot of these things are. So it really doesn't make sense why I'm waiting, but I think it was because we were about to talk to someone. I didn't want to interrupt the lore stone or have it playing while this guy's trying to talk. Because it still does play while you're in the main menu and stuff, too.
At last you've come. The Maid has made her sick fantasy a reality. Everything she was has been warped by the Prismere crystal she holds so dear. It is difficult to tell if she controls it, or if it controls her. We must escape this place. The telling has failed us, Sagril. Nothing is certain.
Alright, and at this point I realize that he doesn't want to fight. He actually wants, well, he does want to fight the witch, but not us. He is actually going to be our ally.
Be in the courtyard, where our ballad finds its end. Come, I will show you. Perhaps then I will find the courage that is required. The Maid awaits.
Alright, and at this point I realized that he was going to actually fight with us and not against us, which was really nice to know. Because again, I figured that everyone in this place was like trying to fight us, and it would be really annoying, but it was nice to know that we wouldn't have to kill every single person. And of course I'm comparing here some of my things. I don't know why I was comparing the House of Ballad robes when I wouldn't be wearing them for too much longer, but of course then you gotta compare the great swords and realize that some physical damage versus some piercing damage and the poison that my current one has, and then I'm like, alright, this sucks. I'm going back to my regular armor. I just still don't understand if I had to wear the House of Ballad robes, if it was only for the beginning to open up the vines, to open up the way further in, or if there was some other requirement for it, if outcomes, people would have said something differently, or whatever it may have been. I really don't understand it, because I wasn't paying like all that much attention, I'll be honest with you. But it is what it is. We're still able to finish it. The quest is not too bad. And obviously, got to get your lockpicks on. I think there's an achievement for 50 lockpicks, opening up 50 lockpicks. So obviously, besides just the loot, I of course want to get as many lockpicks as I can, even the hard ones. And I never want to use my Prismere locks either. Like, I'd rather just buy a bunch of lockpicks from people, especially since like I have my mercantile skills so far up. I can sell all my junk for a lot of cash, and then I can just keep on buying different types of lockpicks. I'm sure that you can craft Prismere lockpicks at one point. I'm sure you can I don't know if it's stagecraft, if it's blacksmithing, or anything, but I'm sure there's a way to continue to get more and more. I just got the 5 free ones, I guess, for doing a quest of some sort. Of course, you gotta check. They're very similar, but my other one has sockets, and it also has a health regen. I don't see any reason to get rid of the health regen when, you know, it's such a good skill to have. Even at like the 1% or like the 0.5%, it's better than not having it, I say. I'm just trying to check to see if King Winston died. I was like, where'd he go? He's just gone. He was behind me for a second, but now he's not. So I was just like worried about like, uh-oh. Was that scripted? But then I see him on the mini-map. I'm like, okay, that was just a thing he got stuck on. Hear these nasty witch things. They're just an abomination. How are you gonna have like a fairly nice figure, but like the rest of you is an abomination of nature? It confuses me. My body doesn't know what to do with that. I'm joking. Pendant of Warmth, which is kind of cool. I don't think I'd take it. Yeah, I think I'd throw it in my junk because I'm like, yeah, it's alright, but my other stuff though, much better. Much better. Gold coins. Nothing really there to worry about. Gotta break all the pots. I don't know. It's like when Link goes into a room and he sees like a bunch of pottery. He has to break them all.
Look at this, Olaine. The Maid's old keep still has vermin lurking in its shadows. Tell me, Sagril, is there a reason we shouldn't exterminate you? I know who I am. I am Maid, servant of the Queen of Spring, the Maid of Windermere.
Alright, so now we have to fight. I figured that we would be able to save everyone, kind of like King Winston, but everyone besides Winston actually needs to die. And this fight actually kind of pissed me off like a lot. You'll see that I get really close to death like multiple times. This magic dude, along with like the amount of enemies, like you have the girl with the Feyblades, the queen, then you have these other like monstrosity girls, like whatever they're called, banshees or whatever. Then you have Lady Olin, who's like casting magic non-stop. It's just so much, and like if you're not careful, you get hit stunned. It's just like it's impossible to go through. So I'm starting to recognize it now, and I'm like, all right, gotta divide and conquer, gotta block all of these magic attacks as best as I can. Sometimes they come out of nowhere, but the thing that really pissed me off is because she was always like teleporting and stuff, the camera was really hard to keep that in my frame, so I never knew when she was about to like launch off some kind of attack. So I was like, alright, I'm tired of this. So I took out like the 2 mob characters, and then I was like, alright, Lady Olin needs to die immediately, otherwise I won't be able to take out the one with the Feyblades. But I can't like seem to get close to her either, which was really annoying. But now that she's out of her like magic circle, I don't really know if it does anything, like helps them cast magic faster or mana regen or whatever it may be. But we got her. With the longsword, we're pretty much able to stun her fairly quickly as well. So it's not even like a challenge anymore. And now we can go help our friend Winston to destroy the last girl, if I can find her. The queen. There she is. And I think it's from here I realized that that Winston had died. I'm like, no, I must have been my friend. He was the only one who was nice to me, and you murdered him. Nope, keep on trying to do the quake, but I go to block and then hit R to activate my magic, and it tries to do reckoning mode. At a certain point, I'm like, ah, fuck this. But then I'm so happy Winston actually like lives. It's just after the fight, he just needed a little bit of a nap, is all. If I'm not mistaken, though, in this room specifically, I get a new greatsword. I may be mistaken, though. There it is. So it's a 104. It doesn't have the poison, but the 84 physical damage and the 20 piercing, I'm like, I gotta do it. Like, that's really good. And I'm really happy for the fact that it looks different than the one that I currently have. So you kind of get a visual upgrade with that, which I'm always all about. I kind of like it because it looks like it... I don't know specifically, but like it kind of looks like the glass weapons from like Elder Scrolls and stuff. Yeah, of course, full inventory. The bane of my existence. But luckily I was able to have just enough in order to hold that new greatsword, so... That's always nice, right? That's always nice. And I think from here, now that everyone had been slain, I can also... oh, I think I gotta destroy some stuff. Now that everything's kind of been slain, we can go fight the main bad bitch. The ward that was blocking the way should be done. And I think that my rationale for doing that was destroying the junk, was saying, okay, we're about to go fight the big boss lady. She's probably going to have some of the best gear in the dungeon, so might as well get prepared and open up a few slots for when that happens. At least that was my rationale. I don't know if it actually comes into fruition, you know? I don't know if it's actually something that makes sense, but at the time, I thought it was the best way to go.
Stop! Sagar, wait! Go no farther! I can't do this. I can't. You must understand. Every time I have faced the Maid of Windermere, we've both dangled by the strings of fate, puppets in the telling. Now she is free of those bonds. I would not even know how to face her. Before, my victory was assured. I have never known failure. This story is yours now, my friend. Take the King's token. You are the only one left worthy of possessing it. It was you she wanted all along. I believe in you.
I was like, wait, you're just gonna bounce? We made it all the way through here? But at the same time, I realized that he gives us the King's token, and only the King can fight. I was like, wait, did he just make us a king? Are we the face king now? Did he just give up his title? I was like, sweet, dude. This is the best day ever. I love when people give me all the power in the world. Alright, the battle is going on, and the arena is surrounded by those piranha plants.
It is a pity our relationship ends here. I was beginning to think we had a future, as creatures of common purpose. All you have witnessed was for me alone. It was justice. Imagine a lifetime of bondage 100 times over, and you will know my suffering. You, though, you are special. You are one capable of comprehending such concerns. We too, we are misunderstood. Perhaps, but you and I are the same. We challenge the past and strive to rewrite the future. We are singing the greatest song of all. The Tuatha have taught me that power only comes with the willingness to destroy, to begin anew and tell new stories. And in Prismeer, they have found the means to do so. I weep for what might have been. You and I, side by side, wielding the power of the crystal. But there can only be one hero.
As fun as it would be to have a nice little waifu, I realized that she would never let me rule specifically. She was the one who wanted to rule, with me just as a trophy wife. I wasn't gonna have it. I wasn't gonna have it. I don't like to relinquish my power like that, especially to someone so crazy. But of course, our standard fare here, my standard frustrations with this game, when they throw multiple enemies at you and they just stun lock you, and you're just like, dude, I am just trying my hardest to fight, and you guys are making it so damn difficult. But I wasn't having any of it. I think at one point I even trap her in a corner, so like a lot of the mobs can't even get to me. But I'm pretty sure I finish her off with Reckoning Mode. I'm like, listen bro, I am not dealing with this today. It's filled up. I'm just frustrated. Not really, it's just in the context of the game. It's like, okay, you're trying to fight all these different dudes who come through, and at this point, I wasn't having it. Like, if it's 2 or 3, like how we were having before, it's one thing, you know, but like with this many, plus the boss, it would have been way too much for me to handle in an appropriate way. So I just said kind of like, fuck it. Alright, so we'll get all these guys. And then I'm like, alright, with the last of my fate here, if I can get her down as well, I don't know if I'm able to, especially because like all the setbacks, I get stuck over there. And I just realized I have to do something before it runs out. But I was a little mad. I saw kind of in the slow motion of this that she's coming to Thresh. I was like, oh crap, now this is something I gotta deal with. But luckily, like I said, we were kind of in the perfect position here. So I get an armor boost here. I'm like, because the Thresh is going to be annoying, plus a Sprite. But we're kind of in the perfect position. The Thresh doesn't really see us, so we can kind of keep on just taking off on this girl.
I beg you. I seek only justice for what has been done to me all these many lifetimes. Don't I deserve as much? Don't we all? It is the kiss of death. You mock me, beast.
Alright, now of course, alright, so we just had to finish off the Sprite before we can actually... Ooh, my robes broke. We need to finish off the Sprite before I can finish off the girl as well. And with that, the quest is officially complete. And I think I can just go to quickly repair my robes, just in case that Thresh stays around. I wasn't sure if it would or not, so I just want to play it safe. But I realized after the fact, the Thresh is actually dead after the boss dies. I don't think I'd take the robes. I think I just put them in my junk, because I realized, like, oh, I don't get the health regen. I don't want it. And from here, I'm pretty sure the quest is completed. So I'm just going to go return it now to everyone. It's at this point that I realize that I have not found all of the lore stones in this area, and I want to go back. So I do like a pause, I go find them, and then I come back before I leave. And I realize, like, do I really want to have to come back in here, fight all the enemies again, just to find these lore stones? And I was like, nah, I really don't. So I go in, do my level up. I think I just want this last piece of detect hidden. Oh no, I don't take it. I don't take it. Really? Huh. I must be thinking that there's other skill books that I could possibly find. That's interesting. I really should probably take that so I can get the skills for, what do you call it? Oh, the lore stones. They'll appear on my minimap and stuff like that. So the last piece of Detect Hidden is actually really good. And because you can always respec for just a bit of money in this game, it's actually probably better to do that, find all like, your lore stones and everything, and then just respec into whatever, you know, class you want without having to put all of them into Detect Hidden, because it's kind of useless after a certain point. After you find kind of like all the secret traps, you only need like a few points in it to get the Detect Hiddens for secret chests and secret doors if you want. So it's at this point that I figure out I've missed lore stones. But yeah, for like the Detect Hidden, after I find all the lore stones and whatnot, I can respec into something that's actually good, like blacksmithing or sagecraft, and continue to get like the best items after I find all of the lore stones and whatnot, and they're like the secret doors. But that's just me. That's just the way I kind of see it, which is pretty nice. So I just kind of found that last lore stone that I pointed out. That was like the last one I needed. So now we're just running back, and we're going to exit out. After this, I think we just need to go turn it back into the House of Ballads, let them know that everything has been handled, and report on the situation. Alright, and I wasn't sure if the quest was going to finish inside the King's Chambers or out here. I realized like people were being like really nice. They were recognizing me as their leader.
You have returned, victorious. I know you had a chance to change our telling, to break the Maid and the House of Ballads from their natural course. Yet, you did not. You struck down the witch Magwer and restored our legacy for now. But there were casualties. The maid's death rendered Wenson impotent. This cannot stand. As a result, you have ascended to your rightful place. You are now Queen of the House of Ballots.
Alright, and we get a new twist of fate. I don't really think I like this too much, because it's more like... obviously, it's cool, but it's more towards your finesse and your magic. And I was just like, not really my jam. Not really my jam, but it's pretty cool that you get twists of fate. I don't know if they technically just last forever, or if it's just one of those things that you have to choose it specifically. But anyways, guys, I do want to apologize for the fact that we screwed up the recording here and lost the original vocals, but I hope this wasn't too much of a pain in the butt to listen to. I figured that having something here would be better than nothing. Other than that, I think in the next episode we decided we're going to continue going on with the main quest. I'm trying to decide if I want to do Hunters Hunted or Old Friends New Foes and meet up with Aelin Shear. And of course, I'm going to meet up with my girlfriend, Aelin Shear. Alright y'all, I will see you all later. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Peace out, and much love to you.